Welcome back to the podcast. Today we're talking about how OKX has opened a marketplace where different AI agents can actually hire and pay each other to do different tasks. So this is really kind of abstract concept, but I think it's really cool. I think it's going to reopen the interest in crypto long term, actually, because we're talking about real money, real virtual money being traded between different AI agents to accomplish certain tasks. So before we get into all that, Jaeden, why don't you tell us about our school community?
Yes, guys, we're so excited because our school community is growing like crazy. We're at 400 members. We grew by 100 members last week because we have made it free. If you want to join the school community, for the last 2 years, it has been a paid community. It's been about $20 to $50 a month, depending. And we've now cut the price to free as an intro offer. You get access to 5 of our bonus content. And every single week, we do a live stream on the school community where we do our newest weekly video. So if you want to get all of the new videos, 5 other ones, and access to an awesome community, it's free to join. If you've ever wanted to join, I would do it now because we are going to make this paid in the future. We still have our full catalog for all of our paying users of over 100 videos showing how we grow and scale our businesses using AI tools. Those are all still $20 a month or $19 a month. So if you want to get access to the full library and like all the tutorials, that's paid, but you get 5 for free. You get an amazing community and all of the live streams. After we do the live stream, we'll take it and we put it into the paid again. But if you're there when we record at 9 a.m. Eastern time every Tuesday morning, you can watch the full thing for free and see how we break down how we're growing and scaling our businesses. We would love to have you as a member. And yeah, there's a link in the description. Okay, let's talk about what's going on with OKX. This one was really interesting to me because I feel like we've seen this really big trend. And Jamie, like, I would love to hear your take. It felt like crypto was like all the rage for a very long time. And then when AI came out, it just crickets from the crypto industry. And it feels like everyone is just pivoting into AI. I saw this really funny tweet, which I'll go pull up, but it was from Jason Calacanis. And he brings it up every once in a while. But when AI came out, he's like, if you're in crypto, pivot to AI. And I think it was some prophetic words on in startup land. So yeah, what's your take on the crypto to AI pivot we're seeing today?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's an interesting connection, and it's finally putting utility to the coins. So that was the whole, I think, reason everything crashed, and the reason people lost interest in crypto is that there was no actual implementation happening, and so therefore, what do we have these coins, these digital coins for? So, but now we're seeing a shift where there are these digital coins being traded amongst AI to hire different agents for certain things, accomplish tasks. I think it could actually come back, and I don't know what the winner will be as far as a token. If it will be universal or if there'll be specific tokens for certain platforms. Either way, I think this is a way for actually where there's a need for these crypto coins. So, but I guess from my perspective, why I'm a little bit confused by this is why would they need to be paid? Like, is one platform have a certain type of agent that the other platform can't? Like, where's the value that's needed to be exchanged? Do you know what I'm saying? Is that
Yeah. Well, and I mean, I think at the end of the day, there could be a lot of like regular payment platforms that could probably facilitate a lot of this tech if they build it, like Stripe, I think could probably be a big contender here. And there's a lot of other agent platforms that are like going and making some sort of wallet where you give your AI agent like a budget to do different tasks, or like, I mean, even there's a lot of credit cards where we're able to spin up like business sub cards, right? Like I use Mercury for a lot of my banking for different businesses. And you can just like click a button and it spins up a new debit or credit card for you. And you can give it budgets and limits, and you can give a certain person access to use it. And you can freeze it immediately, turn it on, turn it off. Like it gives you a lot of flexibility on these kind of like virtual credit cards, basically. And so I think those could offer a lot of the same solutions if you tie in the same infrastructure. But it's interesting that this crypto company is the one that's actually trying to take a stab at this and build that infrastructure out first. And they're kind of the ones focusing on this. They have about 150 million users, although I think it goes through different levels of usage. Probably when Bitcoin is at an all-time high, there's tons of people in there doing stuff. When you get the crypto winter, then this probably shrinks down to 1 million users a month,
yeah,
right? So I think the volatility on this is all based off of that. It is interesting that it's settled in stable coins. And I think that's one advantage that they'll definitely have over Stripe or some of these other traditional finance platforms, because when you're doing things with stable coins, you can get around a lot of like regulation, and not just regulation, but you can get around like a lot of like tax kind of stuff. So if your company is based in another country, paying someone from another country, and it's interacting with stable coins, you can avoid sales taxes and like a lot of different stuff like that versus having to pay like sales tax in
Okay.
America. So
Okay.
there are some like serious benefits to the stable coins, I think.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense to me because, like, but like in my mind, I was like, let's say you're having Claude do something on Canva, and it needs to pay a certain amount of credits. I feel like that would be in US dollars, but you're saying it potentially could be all happen, behind the scenes with like API tokens essentially, right? But they're crypto or something. I don't know.
Yeah, so I mean, like stable coins are basically just pegged to the US dollar, so they're basically US dollars. But I think where this would be really valuable is if there's a company, let's say, like that already has $1 million of Bitcoin from whatever their business is, and that's how a lot of their customers paid or something. If they transfer those Bitcoins into US dollars, then it's like, then I think they have to like basically say, well, it's so interesting using something like Bitcoin because it's like a financial tool, but it's also like a currency measurement. But I'm pretty sure if you convert your Bitcoins into US dollars, and let's say your customers paid you $10,000 in Bitcoin and appreciated to $20,000, you convert it to US dollars to go pay a supplier, you have to still pay like capital gains tax on that
Oh,
$10,000
sure,
that accumulated.
sure.
But
Yeah,
if you keep it as a stable coin, so you just put it into USDT or something that's like a stable coin, it's technically never converted out of crypto. It's still a crypto. And
yeah,
so you don't have to pay that capital gains tax, and you
yeah.
can still go buy things with it. So it's like, it
Okay,
basically fixes the problem of people that are in the crypto not having to pull it out and pay capital gains tax. So
that makes
there's like a bunch of these random kind of use cases. I think they probably are not focusing on those use cases. They don't want this to be like a tax loophole thing. I think what they're probably going to focus on is like, hey, if you're doing things on chain, we can do instantaneous, depending on like what network you're using. We can do like instantaneous transfers, although Bitcoin feels like it just takes forever. So I don't feel like that dream ever became a reality, but maybe with the stable coins it is. So like, look, we can do instantaneous transfers. If there's like a dispute happening, we can resolve it on chain. Like, if someone doesn't feel like they got the thing done correctly, it can all kind of be like programmatically automated and stuff. So a
yeah.
lot of this, I think you can do with traditional finance companies, or they're offering good options, but that's probably the pitch that they'll be making with this. And there's probably some good use cases for it as well.
That makes a lot more sense. Yeah, thank you for explaining that because I'm like a little confused by it.
So it'll be crazy to see. OKX is a huge company, so I'll be curious. Apparently, Intercontinental Exchange invested about $200 million into OKX in March at a $25 billion valuation. A lot of crypto projects have been completely frozen over and unable to raise more money. They evidently have been, especially as I think they're focusing on this AI, which kind of goes to show if you're in any industry and you want to raise money, you have to add some sort of AI element to this. And so I think they're doing that. They support a bunch of AI coding tools: Claude Code, Codex, OpenClaw, and you don't need an OKX account to do this, but they'll help support and facilitate payments with all those different with basically agents using all of those different tools. So this will be pretty interesting to see where they grow, and if this kind of becomes the default online payment for these AI agents, or if people are going to stick with something like Stripe.
Yeah. Well, hey, interesting stuff. No matter which way you look at it. But thank you for listening, guys. If you would leave us a rating or review wherever you're listening, we really appreciate those, and they help us reach more people. We're trying to get to 150 reviews, and we're almost there. So we would really appreciate a review. And then again, check out our AI Hustle School community, where you can just join a community of like-minded people trying to grow their businesses and make money on the side using AI. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.